Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay, and today I'm going to be doing an Ask Kay Q&A session, and it's going to be all about EMTs. Okay, so this is going to be answering your EMT questions because I've been getting a lot of comments on EMT stuff, so I really want to shout out those people that watch my channel and support me, and also answer your questions, because I know that sometimes me just making a comment, sometimes it's really hard for me to fully explain. So I want to point out a few questions that I really liked and answer them. Okay, so the first question, so someone said, do they automatically disqualify people with a criminal record? Already know a felony is a red flag, but what about a misdemeanor? Okay, so this is a really good question. Okay, so first things first, if you want to become an EMT or a doctor, a nurse, whatever you're trying to do, you know, if you're trying to get into fire, you have to decide what kind of life you want for yourself. Okay, so do you want to be a criminal, or do you want to be a success? You know, you have to decide what you want to do in your life. Okay, and you can't hang around everyone. So if you're hanging around people that's bringing you down or putting you in certain situations where you're ruining your future, you have to make a decision not to hang out with those people or not to hang out in that environment. You know, because it's just like the smallest thing that you can do that can just ruin your future, your whole entire future. That's why, you know, when it comes to having a criminal record and being an EMT, I always say be optimistic. You know, don't just stay at home and just worry yourself to death and say, okay, I'll never become an EMT. Because, I mean, you may have a criminal record, but there's certain things that they will overlook, you know, but there's certain things that they won't. So you got to be optimistic but realistic at the same time, because it may not happen if you committed certain crimes. Okay, and we're going to go over that document from the NREMT website together, and I'm going to put the link below so you can see it for yourself. Okay, so my advice is, after you made that decision, you know, the next thing you're going to want to do before you even enroll in school, because you don't want to enroll in school if you don't have the answers. Okay, because during school they're gonna have you start, but then in the middle, like probably like a month and a half into school, they're gonna have you do a background check and a drug test. So everyone was lined up at my school in the hallway, and we're taking turns going in the bathroom and doing a drug test, and then we had to also do a background check. So, you know, you don't want to start and then you can't finish. That's a waste of time and money. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get the facts straight first. Okay, so you're going to want to go to an EMT school, you know, talk to the program director and ask them about this issue, you know, and never lie. Just be completely honest about it and see what can happen. Okay, so definitely set up an appointment and go talk to them. And then the second thing you're going to want to do is get your answer straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, so go directly to the NREMT. I'm going to put their contact information in the description box, but just call them up, you know, talk to them, explain your situation, and see if they will allow you to sit for this exam. Okay, and after you're done with that, you want to also contact a lawyer. You know, if you were a minor when certain crimes were committed, you can possibly get your record expunged. Okay, and if you're an adult, I don't know if sealing your record would be like helpful, because I think you still have to disclose certain things to the NREMT even if it's sealed. So maybe that could be helpful, but I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to tell you that will work. But you definitely want to talk to people that know about this stuff. Go to a lawyer, ask them how you can improve your record in some way, maybe doing community service or something, you know, maybe that will give you a better shot. So you definitely want to, go to those 3 sources and see what they say. Okay, and now I'm going to actually read you the criminal conviction policy that the NREMT has. So I'm going to do a little screenshot so you can see it for yourself. And make sure you just click on the link below so you can check it out if you can't read it on the screen. So let's look at it together. Okay, so it says that, let's go up. Okay, so the intent of this policy is to establish eligibility requirements for the national certification related to criminal convictions. Okay, and basically it says a lot of mumbo jumbo, then it goes down and it says the National Registry may deny an applicant's eligibility to sit for certification exam, deny certification, suspend or revoke an individual certification, or take other appropriate action with respect to the applicant's certification or recertification based on an applicant's felony, criminal convictions, and all other criminal convictions, whether felony or misdemeanor. So it's basically saying that even if you are certified, they can revoke your certification if you commit any of these crimes. So remember that, you may get something, but you may lose it even quicker. You make one mistake, we're all one mistake from a different life. So, you can get your EMT and you're all excited about it, and then you make one mistake and you can lose all of that. So you always got to just watch yourself and watch who you hang out with and your environment, because, when you're hanging out with people that don't want anything out of life or don't care what happens in their life, they're not going to care what happens in your life. So it's, about being a leader, and sometimes you just got to isolate yourself, separate yourself from other people and start hanging out with people that you want to be like, or people that's going in the same direction as you. Okay, so let's continue reading. So it also says that the criminal convictions, whether felony or misdemeanor, relating to crimes involving physical assault, use of a dangerous weapon, sexual abuse or assault, abuse of children, the elderly or infirm, that means weak, and crimes against property, including robbery, burglary, and felony theft. So basically, if you, let's say, get into a fight with an elderly person, abuse children, you saw the other things that's on there, these would, be red flags in their eyes. So that person did ask about red flags, so those things would be their red flags. And it also says all applicants for certification or recertification must disclose any criminal conviction as required on an application. Okay, so you have to just be completely honest and just let them know what happened. This policy applies to an applicant's plea of nolo contendere. I hate saying that. A guilty plea or plea agreement, as well as a conviction after trial. Also, let's see, anything else that's interesting? Okay, so applicants are not required to disclose any criminal conviction that has been expunged from the public record or a deferred adjudication that did not result in entry of a conviction judgment. Okay, so if it's been expunged, that means that you don't have to disclose it because it's something that happened when you were a minor. So failure to disclose covered criminal conviction or the withholding of any material information regarding such conviction shall be an independent basis for denial of eligibility to sit for a certification exam, revocation of a certification, or denial of an applicant's recertification. Okay, so if we go down to number 8 on this policy, they basically say that based on the following considerations, the NREMT determines that certification may jeopardize public health and safety. So these are the things they take into consideration. So A, the seriousness of the crime. B, whether the crime relates to performance of duties of an EMS professional. For example, robbery or burglary, that would be a red flag because you have to go into people's homes. But I mean, if it was like something small, like you just stole some gum from the store, that's different than robbing a bank or something. So, that may be taken into consideration. C, how much time has lapsed since the crime was committed. So was it like 2 years ago? Was it 10 years ago? And we all can change over time, and they take into consideration that you do stupid things when you're younger, so that could make a difference. And D, whether the crime involved violence to or abuse of another person. They definitely don't want a violent person in EMS because patients are going to piss you off, so they want to know that, okay, this person's not going to fight a patient or go off on somebody. So that's taken into consideration. E, whether the crime involved a minor or a person of diminished capacity. That's definitely a red flag if you abuse a minor. F is whether the applicant's actions and conduct since the crime occurred are consistent with the holding of a position of public trust. G is whether the applicant is a repeat offender. If you keep doing the same things over and over again, then maybe they're seeing that, okay, you haven't changed, you're not going to change, and this is just what you do. Or H, whether the applicant has complied with all court orders and probation requirements associated with the conviction. Okay, so basically those are the things they take into consideration, and they basically go on to say that, as EMS professionals under the authority of their state authorization to practice have unsupervised intimate physical and emotional contact with patients at a time of maximum physical and emotional vulnerability, as well as unsupervised access to a patient's personal property. These patients may be unable to defend or protect themselves, voice objections to particular actions, or provide accurate accounts of events at a later time. EMS professionals, therefore, are placed in a position of the highest public trust. Okay, so that's their rationale for this policy. And they're basically saying that, as an EMT, the public is trusting you with their lives and their property. You're going into people's homes, and they don't want someone who is going to violate a person's personal property or violate the person themselves, the patients. So definitely, if you want to become an EMT, I wouldn't say just give up completely because you have a criminal record. I can't judge anyone because we're all one decision away from being a criminal. So I do believe in restitution, but be realistic at the same time, because there's certain crimes that won't allow you to become an EMT. But at the end of the day, you can find something else that's going to be worthwhile and fulfilling as the job of an EMT. So definitely do your research. Go to those 3 sources. An EMT program director, go directly to the NREMT, maybe even show them some receipts, show them that you did 300 hours of community service, or you completed your probation, jail sentence, whatever it was. Definitely show them all that information. And also, go to a lawyer. You don't want this hanging over your head forever every time you apply for a position, because if you're in medicine, it's always going to be drug testing. When I got into an accident, my partner and I, as an EMT, we had to take drug tests directly after the accident happened. So it's like, sorry you got into an accident, but they want to make sure that you weren't under the influence. And also, if you're trying to get into any kind of medical program, you're always going to have to do a background check. So it'll be great if you can talk to a lawyer and see how you can, make your record more appealing in some way. Okay, so do those 3 things, and continue to like keep your head up. Just because this may not work out for you, it may work out for you, but it may not. Like I said, you can find something that's worthwhile, in this world. It's not just one career out there. If one thing don't work out, try something else. Okay, and always, like I said, hang around the right people. The people in your life can just determine your future. You may hang out with one person, you may not even know what they're up to. You may know that, okay, they are involved in criminal activities, but you don't know what they're up to, and you hang out with them, and even if you're not doing anything, you may get in trouble also. So, be smart. You came in this world by yourself, you're gonna leave by yourself. Just leave a good mark on this world. I mean, if you have to cut certain people out of your life, do that, okay? Because trust me, that's gonna be the best decision you make. Just deciding that you're gonna take control of your life and do something good for you. Okay, all right, so this turned out to be a longer video than I expected, so I'm just going to answer one question today, but I will be doing this in the future where I read your comments and answer your questions. Hopefully that answered that person's question, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.